Hey guys and ladies, welcome to Zip Gaming Online. Today I want to talk about things that just bothered me so much ever since I moved to Indonesia. And what's that? Well, it's something that I assume we all love and enjoy. Basically what I'm talking about is gaming as a media, as a hobby, and to some of us, a way of life. Now, the questions and judgments that I kept having ever since I got here has always been able to be summed up as, oh, games are just for kids, and it doesn't teach anything, it doesn't help you with anything in your life. This is very hard for me to rationalize because some of us still have to fight this, and some might be to a lesser extent, but we still have people arguing that, oh, you cannot do anything, and nothing that you do in a game you can bring into your life. Now this is very hard for me to accept, because whenever I'm at work, I do my job as quick as I could, as best as I can, and when other people from different walks of life come to me, I could talk to them to a pretty good degree. Like, I'm not blind into my specific profession, and I attribute all of that to games. Because I got my curiosity raised when I heard about Philosopher's Stone in a game. That got me curious about chemistry, and thus I learned chemistry. And I learned human physiology because I heard of hamstring thrown into a dialogue in a game. I got into photography because the game Fatal Frame, and when I was a small kid, I basically learned empathy through game Suikoden 2. And I'm not even gonna bullshit you on that. Before that, I was a terrible kid. And then I played that game, finished that, and I didn't get the true ending, and it just made me so sad. And then after that, I started to understand that oh shit, it's not all about me. I mean, I go as far as, for some of you, you might actually notice that my English is mangled up. It's not from a specific place, if you will. Because what happens is, I grew up in the States, and then I moved to Australia, so there's a little bit of that. But when I was a kid, I learned basically how to pronounce alphabets in English. And in the end, basically learning English from a game in a floppy disk. And the game was about you're controlling a rabbit here. And what you do is you're collecting carrots in a labyrinth. And then in the labyrinth, there is this pit bull that just chases you for some reason. And, for the life of me, I couldn't find the name for that game to this day. I wish I knew, because that was literally the first game that I have never been able to finish. Every other game that I've played, I've completed. That's the only game that I haven't completed, so it's really bugging me. Anyway, back to the point. All of this, I'm learning stuff from games, and I also brought the mentality of gaming to real world. And is that bad? People here would argue that it's bad. People in Indonesia find that it's bad. I find it weird because I show up first to work. I work harder than most. I don't rest where others do. I jog when others walk. I work when others sleeping. Why do I do that? Because I have the mentality that I brought from game, where you are judged by your actions, not by your looks, your social status, let's say, maybe your friends. You are not judged by your connection, how powerful you are in societal terms. In game, you are defined by how well you do your part, how well you do your job. Like me, myself, have been in restaurant business as a cook for the longest time. That's probably my longest job that I've ever held. I've been in a basically architectural field where, for the lack of a better word, I was an interior designer. I've done graphic design, I've done construction, I've been a gardener, and I've even been a pet handler. Believe it or not, I've even been a janitor. And at my lowest, I've been a homeless. I'm not even kidding, I actually slept on like the little shelter that they had for a bus. And that was a dark chapter in my life, but I came back from it. I kept coming back from basically all the things that the world threw at me. All the things that this despair-ridden world they call the real world threw at me. Why is that? Is that because of a game? No, it's not because of games, but rather the mentality that I get from games. You know how hard the world knocks you down in a game, but also you know that you can still get back up, rebuild, figure out another way to solve, say, the puzzle, solve the problem that you have in the game. You have the ability to do that, and the game pretty much teaches you that it's not over, it's not done. In a game, you're taught that no matter how bad things are, you can still stand tall and proudly say, I do not back down. I will not run. This isn't over. I can still get back up. And I am more than certain that not only games have given the world a lot of things to reflect on in virtual creation, but also things to entice learning. Games, just like any other media, it can push people into pretty much extraordinary feats. And if I can get myself up from being a homeless, what's stopping other gamers from getting, say, a Nobel Prize because they played with electronics when they were young? What's stopping the next president from learning empathy from games? How could games be bad? I find that to be very troubling. Say, you're learning humility from GTA 4 because, say, it's Grand Theft Auto, it's shooting people, you know, it's bad, right? But in GTA 4, you lose your home again and again. In a certain sense, you kind of learn about humility in there. Or maybe, say, in Suikoden 2, where you try to save people from your childhood friend who you also try to save yourself, because he's still your friend. You don't want him to be a bad person, no matter how bad it looks, where other characters will tell you that, oh, he's a lost cause, he's a lost cause. Your main character, you still have the ability to actually say, you know what? He's my friend. And no matter how bad, no matter how terrible, he's still my friend. And I wouldn't turn my back on him. You might actually learn a whole lot of stuff in a game. Say, what's stopping somebody from being a doctor, an engineer? Games? Games are media like any other. It can teach you, intrigue you to learn. And for those of you who walk those fine lines where the society condemns you as a gamer, what's stopping you from being amazing? You are all brilliant. Science tells us that we are made of stardusts. Religion tells us that we are inherently beautiful, wonderful. Game tells us to be wonderful, to be great, to be human, and be better tomorrow than who we are today. So be wonderful. Tomorrow is another wonderful day, be it a beautiful sunshine or a trickling rain, a sandstorm or a hail of snow. Know that nothing stops you, and nothing can. So, with that said, thank you guys so much for indulging the things that's been just troubling me a lot. Hope you can bring it home, show it to others who question the power of the media, that the hobby, the way of life that we thread. I wish you all well. Take care, everyone, and I hope to see you all again in the next video.